Okay. Well, welcome. My name is Chelsea. Thank you for being here. I'm recording this on Valentine's Day 2022. Do not look at how messy my room is. It's anti-black for you to even conceive of how messy my room is. So let's just pretend that that is not happening. Otherwise, welcome in. I really wanted to focus on the heart chakra today, Anahata. Um, Obviously, since it's the day of love, whether you are partnered or single or poly or what have you, love is a spectrum, and we actually have this really beautiful space in our bodies that can be the center of love. So of course I'm talking about the chakras, um, and of course we know that they're and this our understanding of chakras is very flattened. In some traditions there are many chakras, but we're typically used to hearing about the 7 chakras. And so today, focusing in on the heart chakra, that is the seat of compassion and empathy and love, but also I was reading recently forgiveness. And I think that that is an aspect of love that we don't always tap into. So we're going to start with a little bit of a grounding meditation. So if you want to get into a grounding seat, make sure you have your water nearby. Before we get started, I will be doing a little bit of block work today. A block isn't actually necessary if you just have a thick book nearby, or even just like a pillow you can put under your back. That might be something that you grab before class. Make sure that you have water. I think I said that. And yeah, so great. Moving into a bit of a more meditative seat. I'd like you to bring your hands down to your knees and find your spine on the floor, find your sits bones on the floor. You can even kind of move the flesh away from your sits bones to get a more grounded space. Imagine the base of your spine kind of coming out of the floor rather than going into it. And so we're stacking our heart over the hips, roll your shoulders back, pull your head up towards the ceiling. And then if it feels good to you to close down your eyes right now, that's something I'll offer. And I want us to just feel into what the physical aspects of the heart chakra are. So of course we're used to thinking about our chest and our heart, the cave of our heart. We think about that area a lot when we're talking about the heart chakra. But I also want to indicate to you that the heart chakra moves all the way through your arms and your hands. So like these lovely tools we use to give each other things, to receive things, to give love, to receive love, hugs, embraces, all of that is governed by the heart chakra. So I think that's always a lovely thing to remember. And then also the color most associated with the heart chakra is green. So it's Valentine's Day, we're used to thinking pink, red, white, yada yada. But lately for me, when I am studying chakras and the heart chakra and love in particular, I've been inviting this kind of green, lush feeling in. So with the eyes closed and all of that information kind of swirling around, I'd like you to focus in on the space in your chest where your heart resides. So you can imagine lifting your sternum. Imagine maybe a soft green glow emanating from the center of your chest. Maybe imagining concentric circles running through your heart, around your chest and opening up through your arms, shoulders, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands. Finding maybe a sense of self-compassion, ideally, first in a lot of ways. When we make room for compassion for the self, we make more room for compassion for others, and that allows us to stay open in our hearts, which is, especially in these times, a very difficult place to be, a difficult place to do, to find that vulnerability. So as you're imagining this green light radiating from the cave of the heart, I'd like you to think about an aspect of self, of life, of community that you would like to embrace more fully, something that you can imagine wrapping your arms around. And when I say imagine wrapping your arms around, I mean choosing an aspect of your life, or as I said, maybe even community or self, that you would just like to embrace more. And that can be something like patience, which is something that we must cultivate with ourselves and our communities. And that can be also something like generosity. So I won't give too many examples because I want you to be able to hold on to what is most authentic to you. And then go ahead and take a long, slow breath in through the nose, and maybe let that light grow a little brighter, emanate a little further. And as you exhale, maybe that light softens. Maybe it gets a little stronger towards the center of the heart. Maybe you can picture some sort of physical manifestation of your intention in that space, illuminated by that green light. Take another breath into the nose, out through the open mouth, in through the nose, exhale, open mouth. Flutter the eyes open, come back into the space, and I invite you to use that image of your heart chakra and whatever you chose to manifest in that space throughout practice today. So if you find your mind wandering, come back to your intention, come back to your breath. We'll be doing a lot of heart opening work today. So hands back to your knees, move into a seated cat-cow. So lift your chest, pull your tailbone down, and look up towards the sky. So already lifting the heart, already finding that elevation in the chest. Come back to your breath, keep breathing. Next, exhale, round through the spine. Maybe push your hands into your knees and then look down, maybe even look down towards your navel so you get a stretch in the back of your neck. Connecting to that imagery of the cave of the heart here. Next, inhale, drag your chest forward, look up, pull your shoulders back, pull the tailbone to the floor, and then exhale, round forward. And then we'll take this in a stirring motion. So bring your chest forward on your inhale, and then push your chest to the right, and then drag it back, exhale. And as you inhale, pull your chest to the left. Find that lift at the top, and then exhale, going over to the right again. Keep stirring the rib cage here, finding maybe your own rhythm to your own breath, going around moving in those concentric circles that I mentioned beginning of class today. Because if love is like any shape, it's very much like a circle. Go ahead and pause here, and then stir the other direction. Drag your chest to the right. Inhale, lift up to center. Exhale to the left, doming towards the back of your space. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, curling forward. Just keep going like that. We'll even up here. One more round. And back to center. Okay, so like I said, heart chakra extends to the arms, so reach up with your arms. See if you can press your palms together. Maybe cross your thumbs. And then we'll side bend over to the right side of your space. So right away, you might start to feel sensation in the left side of the body, maybe a fanning open of the rib cage here. See if you can pull your biceps closer to your ears, and then try not to fold forward or backward, really just coming over to the side here. And inhale brings you back up to center. And exhale to the other side. Again, coming to that sensation of stretching skin to bone here, and not in a way that exudes any pain, but really just looking for that sensation of stretch here on the right side. Pulling the arms towards the ears, maybe finding a little bit more lift in the chest. Lovely. Come back to center. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your right hand to the spine behind you and your left hand to your right knee. Yeah, so we'll work right into a twist. Your next inhale, lift. Next exhale, look over your right shoulder. Breathing in and out through your nose. Let the breath carry you into the twist. No need to push or pull any muscles here. Next inhale brings you back to center, arms up. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind your spine. Take an inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, look over your left shoulder. Again, lots of ease here. No need to push or pull, no need to look all the way behind you, just gazing over the left shoulder, finding this twist in the spine. Next inhale brings you back up. Exhale, release the hands down. Okay, so we're gonna work into, I had to back up a little bit, but we're gonna work into a malasana squat next. So come to kneeling on your feet, and then walk your 2 feet about as wide as your mat. If your mat is, let's say wider than your hips, because I know not everybody's practicing with a mat or a mat in the right orientation. So feet about as wide as your hips or wider, and then press your palms together and press your elbows against your knees. This is a good opportunity again to check in with the physical aspects of the heart chakra. So we're working with our arms. We're kind of finding this opening through the chest. Our hands are in Anjali Mudra, which is a mudra that invokes the idea of opposites coming together in union. So again, lots of symbolism here with any pose in yoga, but I'll try to point out what is heart chakra related, and maybe we can tap into some more love energy as we go. Okay, take a breath in here. Exhale, hands to floor. Shift your hips up, finding a forward fold. So right away, kind of a wide-legged forward fold. Our feet are about as wide as they were for Malasana. And just allow your torso to hang over your legs. You're welcome to bend your knees generously. Reach for opposite elbows and sway from side to side. Let your head be heavy here. Relax your neck. And bending your knees will allow your lower back to release more. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm not really great at forward folding, I can't really touch the floor, don't worry about that so much. Don't worry about what things look like. Thinking about the sensation and what's right for your body. Bending the knees allows you to find that spaciousness and fold a little deeper. From here, interlace your hands behind your low back. And we'll find a shoulder opening stretch. The fist of the hands fall over the crown of the head. And then release your two hands down. Walk your feet in together and slowly make your way to standing. Rolling up the spine vertebra by vertebra. Head comes up very last, shoulders come up to ears, and then relax back down the spine. Of course, we're finding Samastitihi, equal on all sides standing pose here. Push the weight into your feet, into the four corners of your feet, the base of the toes and the heels. From there, stacking shoulders over hips, finding a lift in the chest. You can bring your hands to heart center, or you can leave your hands on their sides. But in the spirit of today's class, I recommend hands being at heart center today. And then close down your eyes and just notice how it feels to be in alignment, in stillness. And noticing the subtle power that comes from alignment and stillness and stability. And knowing that in all of our postures today, we're looking for that calm power, that calm alignment, and that calm stability. So if you're at all ever feeling uncalm, come back to the breath, come back to this sensation of equanimity in the body. Yeah. All right, you can flutter your eyes open. Inhale, reach up for the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, hands up pose. Draw your tailbone down, lift out of your waist. You're welcome to look up towards the ceiling or wherever your space is today. And find a little bit more length. Lower your shoulders down. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. Next, exhale, step your right foot to the right. Open your arms wide. Find this wide back bend, almost as if someone's thrown the moon at you and you've caught it. Look up at the ceiling, lift your chest, push your hips forward. Next, inhale, step your right foot to your left, come back to mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the waist, dive down. Next, inhale, bring your hands to your shins or your thighs and look down your nose. We're working to get a flat back here. So we'll reset before our next pose. Next, exhale, crouch and curl. Bring both hands to the floor. Sit your hips low over your heels. This is a great place to stretch a little bit more in the spine, round the spine. Bring your forehead down to your knees. And push into the mat. Okay, we'll move through our sun salutations a few more times. Breath to posture. We'll go a little faster. Inhale brings you back up to standing. Stand up, arms up. Exhale, step your right foot out. Catch the moon. Big back bend. Inhale, rise up. Step your right foot back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Dive down. Inhale is halfway lift. Exhale, crouch and curl. Take a breath in here. Breath out. Inhale, stand up. Arms up. Reach up. This time we're going to add eagle arms. So your exhale, bring your right arm underneath your left arm and hook at the elbows. Press your palms together, or a different variation, you can reach for opposite shoulders and find this like very lovely embrace. Okay, from here, take an inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, back bend, look up, look back, push your hips forward. Next, inhale, slowly rise back up to center. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, crouch and curl, hands to the floor. Bend your knees, sit your hips low. Inhale, mountain pose, stand up, arms up. Exhale, eagle to the other side. Your left arm will go underneath your right arm, hooking at the elbows. Press palms together or reach for opposite shoulders. This is a really beautiful option, little self-embrace here. From there, take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, back bend. Push your heels into the floor, lift your heart, push your hips forward. Next, inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the waist. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, crouch and curl, hands to the floor, forehead to knees. All right, moving into our next wave. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms up. Exhale, sit hips low, Utkatasana, chair pose. So chair pose, you can also separate your feet a little bit more if you prefer the stability with that. Taking a wider stance. You can also bring your palms to the center of your chest here in Anjaneyasana, or Anjaneyasana, Anjali Mudra. And then sit your hips just as much down, just as much as you start to feel maybe that burning in the tops of your thighs. Yeah, we're going to add some arms here. So take an inhale in. And remember the heart chakra radiating from the heart, the sternum, all the way through the arms. Bring your right arm back and your left arm forward. Yeah. Pause and breathe here. Sit your hips a little lower. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, left arm behind, right arm forward. Yeah, kind of a little embrace on both sides. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, come to forward fold. Step your left foot back. Lower your left knee down to the floor. So you'll come to kneeling, untuck your left foot. And then inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And then exhale, eagle arms. Right arm underneath, left arm, finding that bind again, or maybe an embrace. And we're gonna move into a back bend on your own breath. So this can be, since we're kind of balancing here, press your legs into the floor for support, and then take your time. You don't need to go into the furthest extent of the pose, but just finding a lift in the chest, eyes looking up. An inhale brings you back to center, arms up. And then exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. Pick up your right foot and shove your right heel forward. Start to work to straighten your right leg. Moving into Hanuman Asana. Pointing your toes up to the ceiling. Press your right heel into the floor and then fold over your right leg. This posture is also called half split. So if splits are something that you like to work on from this shape, you can also just widen the distance between your right foot and your left knee. So if that's something that you'd like to work on, you can go there and then just bring both hands to the floor and bow forward. Next, inhale, rebend your front leg. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, high crescent lunge. Lift your chest, lift your arms. Come back to your breath. So just a note about the chakras here. The heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra and the crown chakra are all higher level chakras. And then below the heart chakra is the sacral chakra, the root chakra. Am I missing one? The solar plexus, then the sacral, then the root chakra. So those three chakras below the heart are kind of the foundations for the rest of them. And they're kind of split up in this way because all of those things need to be in place to, all of those other energy centers need to be in place to support the upper energy centers. So you can think about that in your body as your legs supporting your torso, really in engaging your thighs in towards each other and finding a lift from the floor all the way up to the ceiling. So that was a long-winded way of saying we're supporting ourselves from the low spine, from the low body, so we can allow our higher energies to rise up. Okay, cool. So take a breath in here. And exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. Inhale, step your left foot forward, forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, crouch and curl. Bring hands to floor, bend both knees. Bring your forehead down to your knees. All right, other side. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, chair pose. Right away, pick your stance. You can widen your 2 feet here or keep them close together. Next inhale, reach forward. Next exhale, right hand back, left hand forward. Embrace to one side. Opening up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, float left fingertips back, open the arms, embrace the other side. Beautiful. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, fold. This time, did I send my right foot back? Left foot steps back. Oh, right foot steps back. Yeah, lower your right knee this time. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your arms. Low crescent lunge. Next exhale, finding eagle or finding your opposite shoulders. Moving into your back bend in your own breath. And remember, we don't need to go to the fullest extent of anything today. If you're just finding a lift in the chest, a lift in the eyes, that's working that back bend. Inhale and twist the arms. Exhale, hands to floor. And then start to straighten the left leg this time. So left heel forward, flex your toes towards your face, and then fold forward over the left leg And as I said before, this is a great place to be, but if you do want to work on your splits, then you can widen the distance between your left heel and your right knee. Bow forward. There's also a lot of heart energy in this pose as well, but primarily kind of that concept of bowing down and surrendering. So that's nice. Inhale, rebend the leg. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Next inhale, high crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, lifting the chest. Your back heel is lifted and your back toes are pressing into the floor. Pull your left hip back and your right hip forward. And then think about your thighs and think about hugging them in towards each other. And then finding that lift in the chest, arms up. Take a breath in here. Exhale, hands to floor. Step your right foot forward. And exhale, crouch and curl. Okay, we're going to take a little break for water. The time is 7:39. Little short water break. Whew. Highly recommend drinking lots of water after class. Those back bends and heart opening can zap your energy. And water is a great way to get replenished, get some of that back. So give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Without your thumb. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. We're going to add on a little bit more. We'll come to standing in the middle of the mat. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, sit. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step your left foot back, right foot is forward. Take an exhale out here. Inhale, high crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up. Exhale, warrior two, left heel down, arms out wide. And so this is also another opportunity to think about the heart chakra and think about it radiating out from the center of the chest through the arms to the hands as we're reaching for opposite sides of the space here. Kind of body floating in the middle, eyes over your front middle finger for focus. And then this concept of like opening outward, but also staying rooted. Warrior postures are meant to be stable and wide, and you're also taking up lots of space here. So take a breath in, breath out. Next, inhale, reach forward, then reach your right arm high up towards the ceiling, and then back towards the back of your space. So try not to bow forward, actually reach, kind of find a back bend here, opening up the right rib cage. Again, supported by the legs, the lower chakras. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands to floor. Okay, we're going to move into Skandasana, the side lunge. So shift your hips down to the floor, point your left toes up, and this is kind of a balancing practice if you're interested in that. Otherwise, you can keep your hands on the floor here. But if you're interested in balancing, your hips are kind of your right hip is kind of resting on your right heel. And then you can find a lift in your chest. This is also an opportunity to practice compassion for yourself, because often balancing it all takes a lot of compassion and vulnerability. So I'm going to bring one hand to my sternum, and then I'm going to test out my balance. I'm going to shift my weight so that I feel stable. And then I'm going to lift my fingers off the floor. The wobbles are real. They come in and they test your patience. I'm going to bring both hands down. Okay, so that was fun. A little opportunity for play here. We're going to move into a wide-legged forward fold next. So shift your hips up, straighten both of your legs, walk your hands to the center, and fold forward and down. Postures like the wide-legged forward fold are inversions. So in this case, we have the heart below the hips, an inversion of your natural state with the heart above the hips, and actually the head below the heart. So kind of an inversion of hierarchy here. I always think this is interesting because we have a lot of intelligence in our gut. And even, ancient man was more in tune with their gut than their mind, and, kind of using the gut as the original mind, right? So that concept of a gut feeling. So in an inversion, we're kind of replacing all of that heady energy, all of that overthinking with true feeling from your gut. And that connective aspect in between can be the heart. So take that or leave it, however you feel about it. Take a breath in here. Exhale, walk your hands over to the right side. Find your low lunge. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Exhale, crouch and curl. Come back to your breath. And we'll do it all again on the other side. Inhale to stand up. Arms up. Exhale, sit low. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. This time, right foot steps back. Inhale, high crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, warrior two. Spin your right heel down. Shoulders over hips, opening hips up to the right side of your space. Arms wide, eyes over your front middle finger. Deepen your lunge a little bit. Come back to your breath. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach forward, reach high up and back. Right arm can be somewhere on the right leg or behind the low back. Reaching up and then back, fanning open the left side rib cage. Take a breath in here. And exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. And we'll try Skandasana on the other side. So spin your hips down towards the floor. Straightening your right leg. You can absolutely support yourself with your hands here. It's an opportunity to play with balance. Bringing one hand to the center of the chest, then the other. You can grip the mat with your toes. And also welcome a fall sometimes. You can always catch yourself with your hands. There's a metaphor there, but I don't feel like being so long-winded. When you're ready, make your way back to your wide-legged forward fold. Straighten both legs. Walk your hands to center. And fold forward and down. So in this posture, you can have your hands on the floor, or you might try reaching your hands behind your heels. And whichever version of that you find yourself in, see if you can shift your weight forward, sending your hips even further over your heart heart over the head. Coming back to your breath. Next inhale, bring hands in front of face, halfway lift, and walk your hands over to the left side, coming back into a lunge. Next inhale, step your right foot forward. Next exhale, crouch and curl. And from crouch and curl, go ahead and move all the way down to the floor. Okay, turn check. Okay, so move into a seated half twist next. Bring your left knee down to the floor. Step your right foot over the left knee. Yeah, so right knee faces the ceiling, is pointing up to the ceiling. Bring your right hand behind your spine and left arm, hook your left elbow over your right knee. Yeah. From there, find a lift in your chest and look over your right shoulder. Again, just like the beginning of class, letting the breath do the twisting here. No need to force anything. Making sure both hips are on the floor. Always lifting the chest. And then hands come to opposite side counter twist. From here, bring your right leg out long. Left foot to the inside seam of the right leg. Interlace your fingers like a basket. Reach your arms overhead. And then reach for your toes. Bend your knee as much as you need to get your hands around your foot. And then bring your forehead down to your knee, round the spine. And coming back to the breath. Start to allow yourself to soften here. You might work to start to straighten the leg if your knee is bent. And if your leg is straight, you might start to bring your left shoulder down. Bend your elbows more so. And then the next inhale, go ahead and come out. Reach your arms up. Place your left hand to the floor and then press your hips up, falling star. So I'm going to turn so you can see me. My right foot is on the ground and just kind of like getting up out of a seated position on the floor. And if you can imagine that, if you've been sitting for a while, just finding some length here. And then seated half twist on the other side. Go ahead and sit back down. Bend your right knee in, place it on the floor. Cross your left foot over your right knee. Left knee is facing the ceiling. Bring your left hand behind your low spine. Right arm reaches up. Hook elbow over knee. And then send your eyes behind your left shoulder. Finding more length in the chest, more buoyancy in the heart. Allow your gaze to drift back. And as you're ready, come back to counter twist. Bring both hands down to the floor. And then bring your left leg out long. Right foot to the inside seam of the left leg. Interlace your hands together like a basket. Arms up. And then turn over your left leg and then fold over your left leg. You can bend your left knee as much as you need to capture your foot and then bring your forehead down to your knee. You can work to straighten the leg. Or you can simply focus on rounding the spine, finding a little bit of introversion in this posture.
Got lingering odors? Grab the Breathe Small Spaces.
That was really a commercial right in the middle of this meditation. That's annoying. Okay, sorry about that. All right, inhale, come back up to center, arms up. Place your right hand behind you. And then lift your hips up, press up, finding that fallen star shape. Lovely. Okay, the last thing I want to do in class today is move into fish pose. And you have an option here. If you have a block nearby, first option is to place your block onto the mat and then lay down over it and put your chest over the block. So your head will come down to the floor. So that's option one. You can bend both knees here, or you can bring the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide, or you can, if lotus pose is something that is interesting to you already in your practice, your option with lotus is to bring your right foot to your high hip, cross your left foot over your right leg, and this is something that comes with a lot of practice. But if lotus is something that you are practicing, you can move into that and then reach for your toes. You might need to readjust your block. Let your head come down and then keep your chest lifted. So a couple options there with the legs. You can also just leave your legs out long. And then if you have like a blanket or a pillow or something, you can use that instead of a block. You can also turn your block onto a higher setting if you feel like you want to feel a little bit more lifted in the chest. Or if you prefer not to use a block at all, you can bring your forearms to the floor and simply let your head come down to the floor. And then you can take the weight out of your forearms. So many options for fish pose, but the main aspects of it are to lift the heart over the head in this reclined posture. And I like this pose when we're thinking about the heart chakra, because we're doing a lot of elevating of the heart and opening of the rib cage, the sternum, and we have to support all of that with the rest of the body, including the head. So it's kind of taking this opportunity to again change the hierarchy and push the heart forward more. I'll remind you that the heart chakra is the center of the energy center for empathy, compassion. I would also argue maybe sincerity and forgiveness. And so you might bring your attention back to wherever or whatever your intention was in the beginning of class today, reimagining that space in the heart area, and reimagining that kind of soft green glow in that space. And we'll just be here for a couple of more breaths. If at any time in your regular day you have an opportunity to find a variation of fish posture because maybe you feel blocked in that area, in that region, this is a wonderful place to just kind of come and be in your heart. So as you're ready, slowly start to exit the posture. If you don't have a block, you need to walk your elbows down to the floor and press your head up. Otherwise, you'll make your way back up to seating. And with the soles of the feet together, butterfly pose, we'll kind of take a counter pose here and lower the heart down to the floor. Kind of the opposite of our fish posture. And of course, butterfly doesn't need to be that deep. You can also just like round your spine and drag your chin towards your chest. Beautiful. As you're ready, gather your two knees together. Make your way down to the floor again. Gather your knees into your chest. And then lower your knees to the left side of the body. So simple supine twist. You send your eyes over to the right side of your space. You can open your arms out. Soften your breath. Start to move into a place of relaxation. These simple spinal twists are really good for releasing the muscles of the body, checking in with the breath, with the heart again. Noticing how you feel now compared to the beginning of class today. And when you're ready, gather your knees back into the chest and lower both knees to the right side. Eyes over to the left of your space, completing that spinal twist. This is also a really lovely posture to engage in right before bed. Kind of also massaging the ascending and descending colon. And just a good opportunity to check in with how you're feeling today. Without judgment, just observing. Then go ahead and gather your knees back into the chest. Wrap your arms around both legs. Rock from side to side. Take a big squeeze in. And then exhale, Shavasana, legs long, arms wide. Take the next 2 minutes for total rest here. I'm going to turn off the camera for that time and allow you to rest in silence, and then we'll come back. And you can start to deepen your breath, come back into your body, wiggle fingers and toes, take a stretch of the arms overhead. Ignore my dog who is barking. You can turn to one side, left side or right side, before coming up to a seat, meeting hands to heart center. And also you can just not do that. Welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you need to. But I would just like to close out class with gratitude, as always, gratitude for your presence, gratitude for your practice, gratitude to my ancestors and yours, and gratitude to the practice of yoga that has endured for so long in all its different variations. So thank you. I will bow to you in your light.